on this thing called you from Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind. The spirit within you is God. The living Spirit Almighty is within you now. Spirit is the sustaining principle of all life. So for the rest of this month, we will open our minds to deepen into the understanding of this topic that we're going to start today, to open up to divine influx, to your consciousness, opening it up to the overflow, and your heart to its divine love. Good? You all open for that?
Yes. Sure.
Great. I'm glad you said yes, because that is exactly what we are going to be experiencing. So truly within everyone, there is a call. Within each and every one, there is a call. A deep longing, a soul's yearning to connect, to commune, to be in conscious union with a power greater than ourselves, which we call God. It is a longing to be home. And I'm so reminded, as I was writing this, I was so reminded of a longing that I had in my heart in like 1990. And it felt like there was this emptiness, and there was this longing to connect with something, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know about New Thought. So I just felt this yearning. And until I discovered these principles, these spiritual principles that absolutely not only feel good, but they feel right, they feel true, that I could really connect with in an honest way, then I started to move into a fulfilling peace within myself. That what I call God hole started to get filled. It got filled. So what I'm referring to here is something that is deep inside each and every one of us, a longing. And there is an innate yearning at the depth of our being to connect with, to commune with, from this higher presence. I'm sure, did anyone else feel this, or just me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we will dive in, and as we hear the call, well, we'll choose whether we want to connect with this feeling of contentment, peace, and plenty, of experiencing this in our lives. But we don't always just openly dive in, do we? There's a part of us that is like, goes kicking and screaming. But that's what we're here for today. That's what we're here for today. And today we're going to do just that, I promise. So it can be very easy to get distracted from our relationship with God, because we live in this world of effects, this world of conditions. There is so much going on this planet today. There is so much going on. But this is the call within, as you feel it, to hold that light for what is going on this planet. Because it's a lot of confusion and a lot of fear and a lot of misery. But in the face of all that chaos and sadness, we're here to hold the light. And we can only hold the light when we connect with the light within us. If we desire to experience true peace, true prosperity, if we desire to feel that deep commitment and contentment of satisfaction and happiness in our lives, if we fill the space of longing in our hearts, we find our connection to Source, to God, fulfilling it. And we move, and that's when, because today's talk is about mystic, being a mystic. And each and every one of you here is a mystic, whether you know it or not. And if you didn't know it, that statement can be a little unsettling, but we're going to move in the ways of a mystic because anyone can. And you might think, I'm no mystic, that's for saints, that's for sages, that's for special people. They're all mystics, they all know the truth. Well, who am I? Who are you not to know the truth? Who are you not to know the truth? That is all a misconception. I want you to know that right here, right now. And Holmes, in the Science of Mind textbook, does a beautiful job of describing what a mystic is. So hear this. Hear it with your heart. He writes, a mystic is not a mysterious person, but is one who has a deep inner sense of life and of his unity with the whole. A mystic is one who intuitively perceives the truth and without mental process, meaning our thinking, arrives at a spiritual realization. The mystic senses the atmosphere of God. The mystic sense reveals the greater truth and knows that, infinite as is the divine being, it is still personal to all who believe in its presence. And from Neville, in his book, Faith is Your Fortune, he wrote, consciously claim yourself to be that which you seek. Beautiful. Consciously claim yourself to be that which you seek. Appropriate the consciousness of that which you see, and you too will know the status of a true mystic. Isn't that what we are doing when we say that the spirit within me is God? All there is God is all there is? The living Spirit Almighty is within me now. Spirit is the sustaining principle of life. I open my mind to His influx, and I open my consciousness to His inflow. I open my heart to its love. And Rabbi David Cooper, in his book, God is a Verb, wrote that whenever he sat down with holy men and women, whether they were Buddhist monks or Native American shamans or Catholic priests or rabbis, they shared their mystical insights. They shared the same experiences, looked a little different, but it basically was the same thing. Different words, yes. Different culture, yes. Different times, yes. But it all comes back to the one same principle. And the message, the deep message that each of these teachers spoke about is really quite simple. But we make it so complicated. It is that we each have something profound. Hear this. We each have something profound within us. All we need to do is awaken to it. To awaken to it. Before we can become present to it, we must have this awakening that there is a presence within us that is eternal, that is pure good, that is all God. In roughly 500 BCE, there was a man named Siddhartha Gautama. That we know who that is. Walking the earth doing holy work. He was doing really sacred holy work. He was astounding people with his mere presence. So they asked him, not who are you, but what are you? Are you an angel, they asked. No, he replied. Are you God, they asked. No, he replied. I'm simply one who is awake. Period. And he became known as the Awakened One. That's the meaning of the word Buddha. The Awakened One. We each have something profound within us. Each and every one of us. We have something profound within us, and all we must do is awaken to it. Become present to it. Come alive in it. I always love it. Come alive in it. Because lots of times we put a damper on ourselves. And we're stagnant or we're closed. So it's becoming alive to it, giving birth to it again. It's really that simple. But we try to make it so complicated because we always have stuff going on. Ernest Holmes recognized this when he said in the textbook, Science of Mind textbook, that we regularly try to make a riddle out of simplicity. Write that one down, Linda. we were always trying to make a riddle out of simplicity. Yes? Yes. We try to make it more complicated, but it really is simple. Who do you think you are? You are spirit. Hello? You are spirit. You are the God self. You've been created out of the nature of this God essence, this divine energy. You are the activity of God expressing as you, in you, through you. Every experience in life is an opportunity to take the steps that lead toward the fulfillment of your glorious potential. Essentially, mysticism recognizes that God is in all and that it is the practice of seeing, sensing, feeling, and experiencing God within and without. It is the practice of letting God guide and direct and inspire, and we call this intuition. Have you ever gotten in touch with that still small voice within you that's pulled you into something that this mind up here does not understand, and you followed it, and it turned out to be the greatest experience in your life? That is the God self within you, the intuitive self. Holmes in Science of Mind wrote, "The highest mental practice is to listen to this inner voice and to declare its presence. The greater a man's consciousness of this indwelling I am, the more fully he will live. This will never lead to illusion, but will always lead to reality." That's with a capital R. "All great souls have known this and have constantly striven to let the mind of God express through their mentalities. The Father that dwelleth in me," he writes, "doeth the work." The Father that dwelleth in me doeth the work. This is let go and let God. And so, let me continue him. "This was the declaration of the great master, and it should be ours also. Not a limited sense of life, but a limitless sense of life." Yes. So we're all natural mystics. When we get out of our heads and get into our hearts, Stephen talks about that a lot, but it's true. When we start thinking with that intelligence of the heart, we can be drawn into deeper levels. This is how we connect with that indwelling presence that never leaves us, that guides us, that's with us. The Buddha said, "Let your mind become clear, like a still forest pond." And I want to use that as a metaphor of this still forest pond to take us this morning to a mystical place, a magical place. If you'd like to go with me, I'm going to invite Stephen to come on up and help me. I'll invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable and relax in your seat and just take a couple of deep breaths. Letting go of everything that's gone on before this moment. And just picture this forest pond, still, very still. There are 5 levels. And you are going to be slowly dropping a pebble down into the pond and watch it descend the 5 levels. Level 1, on the surface of the pond, it is not very still. On the surface, there are all sorts of disturbances. The water is churned up by the wind, pelted by the rain, frozen by the cold, thawed by warm temperatures. Leaves and dirt litter the surface. All the disturbances to the pond are visible at this level. The surface of your mind is also where all the activity, all the disturbances exist. We might call this level the chatter level. At this level, 60,000 thoughts per day cross your mind. This chatter is about finance and deadlines and health, children, appointments, shopping lists, retirement, vacations, choices, world unrest, the shutting down of our government, conflict at work, relationships, last night's dinner. The thoughts are endless. And of course, this is where the ego lives with all of its hurts and upsets and judgments. But you know, just because the service is being whipped around with mad activity, it doesn't mean that all activity is going on below the surface. Some surface litter does not make the pond impure. So let your rock drop just below the surface as we move into level 2. And just below the surface, the disturbances have very little impact. The storm may still be above, but its presence is not felt in the same way as it was when you were right in the middle of it. And likewise, when you go below the surface of your mind, you leave the egoic chatter behind. Here, the constant entering and exits of thought is replaced with a different kind of thinking. You have more control of the thinking process, though you are still a ways off from the silence of the deep. But here your thinking is more focused. As you sit still, you may find that your thoughts are now on analyzing. Those silent comments you make as you assess your progress or lack of it. Others' progress or the lack of it. Just go back to your pebble and see it falling through the second level, leaving your analyzing mind behind. Move into step 3. The pebble is now well below the surface of your mind. Feel the chatter lessening, as well as the need to analyze everything. Let it go. Allowing your mind to see the flow of how things are all connected and held together. And at this level, begin to experience more of your spiritual nature. This quiet level deep below the surface, accept that people are unique and that you may not understand how or why everyone behaves the way they do, including yourself. But here, there is no need to analyze. It's much more rewarding to just surrender and flow. Feel the flow of acceptance followed by gratitude. as you surrender to the flow, the pebble drops even deeper through level 4. You are now getting to the place where you actually are experiencing the shutting down of dialogue. In this space, thoughts begin to disappear as you sink into pure awareness. Notice the silence of awareness. As your mind becomes quieter, you might notice joy beginning to sparkle. And as a great mystic, Teilhard de Chardin once said, joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. There's still one more level to go, at last and 5th level. This is the final resting place for your pebble. This place is beyond mere quieting of the mind. Here is the place within where you empty your mind of all thoughts, all experiences. This place is very hard to describe in words. Here, rather than focusing on thought, put your inner awareness on the space that exists between your thoughts. It is the field of all possibilities. There are no distractions, no separation, only consciousness. Pure consciousness merged into one. So, all of the great mystics have agreed that the soul is on the pathway of experience, that is of self-discovery, that it is on its way back to the Father's house, and that every soul and will ultimately reach its home. Here, you are home. You are home. We give thanks. I feel like doing a really quick prayer. Okay, so we're just going to know that this home that you are in is absolutely filled with limitless possibilities. It's filled with the peace of the divine mind. It is filled with the presence of eternal love. And this is God expressing itself, the master creative genius that has created all that is, was, and ever shall be, experiences itself in life, every kind of life, galaxies of life, every form of life. There is nothing that exists outside the body of this one mind, of this one energy, of God itself. No matter what appearances look like. For in the middle of the chaos, there is a still peace. There is that forest pond. That is stillness. That is profound peace. That is in harmony with itself. And I am claiming that that peace fills each and every person here this moment. That the peace of God is the reality felt in this moment. That we all are connected in this unity of oneness, of infinite possibilities, of divine love. I give thanks. I give thanks for this morning. I give thanks for each and every one soul that has said yes. I give thanks for the spiritual truth that there is only one power for good. I give thanks for each and everyone's beautiful, beautiful gift that they hold within their souls, knowing it is expressing as we speak. Knowing this is truth spoken, I let it be, and so it is.
Absolutely.